respected, but this is an area of huge controversy. At the fringes of Muti are healers suspected of dealing in death. This woman's niece was murdered. She explains parts of her body were taken, and that is the mark of a witch doctor, not an ordinary killer. Neighbours agree and have marched in protest at so-called Muti killings. So while the government investigates traditional healing, the police are investigating it too. They even have a research unit which tries to monitor the most extreme practices and moves in to arrest those responsible when their efforts to heal the sick break the law. In fact, even mainstream traditional healers who have shop fronts on busy streets like this have been under attack for unorthodox methods, which have included giving sick people battery acid or mercury. But with the government here open to the idea that some traditional healing can work, it looks set to win a formal place in South Africa's health service. Jeremy Vine, BBC News, Johannesburg.
The funeral has taken place of the former Conservative MP Enoch Powell, who died 10 days ago. The service was held at St Margaret's Church, Westminster, where he was a warden for 10 years. The funeral address was given by his former colleague Lord Biffin, who described Enoch Powell as a man of prophecy and political sacrifice. The explorer David Hempelman Adams is to make a new attempt to walk to the North Pole. If he succeeds, he'll become the first Briton to reach the pole without the help of a supporting expedition.
David Hempelman Adams describes himself as a businessman with a hobby which incidentally exposes him to temperatures which can freeze the moisture in your eyes and place you in peril of deadly polar bears. He spends his fortune from making glue on expeditions around the globe, boasting countless records, having walked to both the North and South magnetic poles and climbed the highest peak on every continent, including Everest. But still, the geographic North Pole eludes him after 2 failed attempts to conquer the hostile frozen Arctic.
We're starting off at the beginning of the spring, so there'll be 24 hours of darkness to start with, coming up into a little bit of twilight. So that's going to be very, very cold, -50 ambient, going down to wind chills of -90. So you get problems with frostbite and that type of thing if you're not careful. Open water, that's the other big problem, and that's the thing that scares me most. But if you went into the water in those temperatures, you haven't got many seconds to get out.
Promoting their latest campaign in London this morning, appropriately alongside an ice sculpture of a polar bear, his Norwegian partner Rune Jelnes said fitness is vital.
It's important to move fast and use the right clothing, and also use your brain very, very good, because you have to take care of yourself all the time.
It's the cold that really takes you by surprise. And what I do is I go into a big industrial deep freeze on some weekends, go in there and sleep, and I'm in there with the old turkeys, and that's good training, I find.
Success would give Hempelman Adams the equivalent of a Grand Slam of exploring. John McIntyre, BBC News.
And that's all this Wednesday lunchtime. From the 1 o'clock news. Good